Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thanks for being PC with D, and welcome to another edition of Should Christians Play, the series where we go between the ratings of the ESRB to answer the questions, should a Christian play, and is this game accessible for me? Hi guys, my name is Derek. I'm a legally blind gamer and preacher, and today we're reviewing Killer Instinct 2 Classic. That's right, this game was made for your Xbox One, Series S and X, and PC. It's a revitalized version of the Killer Instinct 2 arcade game, and you guys know how we do. We always review these games on two fronts: whether the game is physically accessible for the low vision and blind, deaf and hard of hearing, and motor disabled, and then of course whether the game is morally accessible for a Christian to play. So let's start things off, guys, with the physical accessibility. Is this game physically accessible for the low vision and blind? That's where we'll start, because that's the spectrum I come at things from. Unlike the first game, this KI2 Classic has menus that are reversed. The first game kind of had the dark backgrounds with the light writing. Now we kind of have the weird muddled look that we have in the second game, where what you're marking is dark instead of light, and the only way it's dark and light is when you have something highlighted. Otherwise you get that muddled look as you look down the menu. It's kind of hard, light on light writing. I don't like the aesthetic choice they chose for KI2 Classic, as well as I did the original. If you missed that review, guys, for the first KI Classic, go check it out. I have an entire playlist on the YouTube channel, Poetically Christian, for Should Christians Play. We reviewed all kinds of games. We've done Let's Plays, Bible sermons, and so much more. From the low vision and blind standpoint, again, the menus are limited. They are big text, and what you're on is dark, so that you kind of know what you're on, but it's not as easy as the original. But as you see, if you keep going down, you can't go down anymore. Can't go up anymore, even though you're hitting up. So it's limited menus, and they're marked by ends. So if you're completely blind, it is easy to kind of memorize these menus and things like that. There is no menu narration, unfortunately, in this game. But for the low vision, the text is big, the marker is dark. I just don't think it's as easy to read as it needs to be. Once you get into the inner menus, though, you'll see that things are a little easier, like this. So why they chose that for the outer menus, I really don't know. But it is there. And of course, just like the first game, you can punch up and down the audio if you need to turn the music down so you can hear where the characters are. If you're completely blind, you get the danger when your life bar is low. And everything's in one round instead of a 2-round system or 3-round system like you have in other fighting games. Your character kind of just drops in the middle of the round, you get right back up, says ready, and you go on to your next life bar. It's kind of a unique thing to KI, but you will know by hearing that ready. And of course, always holding back for block helps you guys to block in the game no matter where you're at. I think it is approachable, playable. Fighting games, just as a general, are kind of more approachable for someone who's blind or low vision. You only have to worry about 2 characters on one plane. So it makes the game more playable in that respect. And Killer Instinct is no different. And with some play, you would get used to it. You'd be able to figure out the cues. There's cues to everything when people throw. There are projectiles, when they jump, when they attack. You can definitely hear where they are. We have spatial audio, so you know where things are. It's approachable and playable for someone blind, and definitely for the low vision. But since we kind of have this muddled look to the menus a little bit, makes it harder than it needs to be, I'm going to give it a little bit of negative. On the first one I gave for the blind and low vision, kind of a C to C+. I'm going to give KI2 kind of a C to C- in that respect. I don't think it's as easy to read as the first game. Not unplayable, just not as easy as it needs to be. For the deaf and hard of hearing, we have the same situation as what we had on the first game. There is no subtitles on this game, but there is very little voice work that needs to be subtitled on Killer Instinct 2. And when you get to the end, the arcade endings, their endings are all typed out, written out, so you can read and follow along their endings without feeling like you're missing out on anything. So there is no subtitles there, but it isn't as big of a necessity as it is in other games. So it's a bummer that it's not there, but you can know what's going on without it. And for the motor disabled, like the first game again, guys, we have unbelievable button remapping abilities. You can remap any button to anything you want on your Xbox controller, guys. Totally awesome. No complaints there. For the motor disabled, you can remap it to your heart's content. So overall, guys, I would have to give it a little bit of lower marks just because of these muddled menus and things like that. And so I would give it to C overall for accessibility, physical accessibility. Now, what about the moral accessibility? Is this game morally accessible for a Christian to play? Well, as the first game, we have the ability to turn the finishing moves off in the game settings here, which disables their fatality type moves, and so it takes the killing away aspect away. You nor the CPU can perform these moves once you turn this off, so you completely strip out that aspect of the game, which is totally awesome. And also, like the first game, we have the ability to turn the blood level, or in other words, blood and gore, to 0, to none. Completely turn it off, so that takes the blood and gore out of the game. And of course, you have the ability to turn that parental advisory to on. So that is really awesome. The first game had the ability to turn the blood color to whatever you wanted. If you wanted like a white or weird colors, yellow, whatever. This does not have that for whatever reason. They kind of stripped that out of it. But otherwise, we have the blood level, which is more important, and an ability to turn it to none. So pretty awesome, guys. Pretty awesome. Still have that ability to, do the things that you'd want to do. So overall, again, KI2, we have the ability to turn the finishing move fatality type things to off, ability to turn the blood off, and the parental advisory on. So really helps to make a very Christian-friendly Killer Instinct game. Now, what about the sexual content? Now, we have a little bit of something different than what we had in the first game. On the original KI, you only have one female character named Orchid, who was very appropriately attired. On KI2, we kind of have a similar situation going on, although we have more to deal with. We have 3 female characters. Orchid, which is pretty much attired the same as she was on the first game. We have a character named Kim Woo, who is pretty decently attired, but we also have a character named Maya, which is not as attired as I would want her to be. So I'm going to have to, again, knock a few marks there for that. It's not the worst I've ever seen, but I've definitely seen better as well. So kind of have to knock that a little bit. We gave the first game for kind of moral accessibility an A because we didn't have any. You could take out the blood, you could take out the finishing moves. There was no sexual content to speak of, no blasphemy, no taking the Lord's name in vain, which in the second one we don't have that either. But in this one we do have Maya, which is a little bit risque in her attire. So, it's kind of I'll give it a B. We gave the first one an A, I'll give it a B. You don't have to play as her and things, but she is in the game, kind of takes away from it a little bit. Of course, inherently, it's a fighting game. If you're concerned with the violence of a fighting game, I don't think it's anything to take seriously. It's very cartoony, as we have all kinds of, robot characters, saber wolf, werewolf guys fighting guys. I mean, it's over-the-top crazy combos and things. I don't know how you could take it seriously. Very cartoony. But if you just don't like the inherent violence of a fighting game, then that is there. And this game has that just like the rest. So overall, I'd have to give the moral accessibility guys a B on KI2 Classic. So let's show you some gameplay in effect here, so you can kind of see what's going on, whether it's something that you'd be able to play, you'll be able to hear it, see it, and know whether it's something you'd like to play. I like to show these games in action. My subscribers have asked me how do the games play, so I can kind of give you a overview and let you see what the games look like, so you can tell and decide from what you hear, what you see, if it's something that is right for you. All right, let's do this. Let's be my boy Jago, I guess. And let's see how we do here. And as you can see, there's Maya. So this is completely different. KI1 was a lot of combos when you play against the CPU and things. If you don't know how to do your combos, you're kind of in trouble. But a KI2, combos are not as much of a play. You have to earn your meters to do combos and things. So kind of turns out to be more of a traditional fighting type game, like a Street Fighter. I find myself doing shins for the win. Oh. As you hear the ready, 3 rounds. Oh, we got her. Woo! Oh, yeah! Yeah, as you see, the sound effects are punched up pretty high, so you can hear what's going on pretty good. You know what's going on, where you are, what's kind of going on. Oh no. Just kind of wanted to show you guys what the game looks like in practice. As I said, you find yourself doing chip damage and fighting. It's kind of the key to success in this one. Ah. Oh. No. Oh no. Oh my goodness. Got her. Woo! Alright guys, I just kind of want to show you what it looked like in practice. Hopefully this review has helped you. So overall, I give the physical accessibility a C to C minus. For the low vision and blind, we have menus that are kind of muddled and not as easy to read as they need to be, guys. But you do have the sound effect ability to punch up the audio to hear the things that you need to if you're completely blind, and the menus are small enough to where you can memorize them okay. No menu narration, however. The deaf and hard of hearing, we still don't have the subtitles, guys, but they're not as necessity as they are in other games. And of course, we have that awesome complete button remapping for the motor disabled. C to C minus. And for the moral accessibility, guys, we have the ability to turn the finishing moves off, the fatalities and killing to be stripped completely out of the game, the ability to turn the blood and gore completely off, the parental advisory on. There's no blasphemy or taking the Lord's name in vain at all. The sexual or content, we have a little bit more going on, so it's going to get some negative marks for that because of Maya. But Kim Woo and Orchid are still appropriately attired, guys. So overall, I'd give the moral accessibility a B for KI2 Classic. I hope this review has helped you. If it has and you don't want to miss any of the future reviews that we do on Should Christians Play, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you give this video a like, it helps our ministry immensely, helps us to get godly content and these reviews to other Christians who are wondering. And if you're watching on Poetically Christian Gamer Twitch, hit that follow button, guys, and you'll be able to join me when I do my Let's Plays live. I love you. God loves you. This has been another edition of Should Christians Play, this series where we go between the ratings of the ESRB to answer the questions, should a Christian play, and is this game accessible for me? Till the next one, guys, blessed wishes.